Hello to everybody, also from my side. My name is Kai. I'm the founder and CEO of teamdecoder, and I'm here today with our AI expert, Karina, who will take over in a second. So let me present to you teamdecoder for a second. We at teamdecoder, we aim to support teams from their creation and through all kinds of transformation processes that they will most likely have to go through, like every team. We've researched a lot what's going on in the market, and we found out that the most important factor for a team to be happy, resilient, and successful is trust. And in order for a team to build this trust, the team needs clarity and transparency of all kinds of roles, all responsibilities, and the workloads that exist in this team. And that's what we provide. We work with team leaders and with the consultants that help the team, and we offer them three things. We have a proprietary and ideology-free framework for role-based work. We have a web app that helps the teams to manage all the changing roles and workloads over time. And we have our so-called campfire process that helps the team to maintain over time a continuous way to always think about a way to find a better way of working, because things change, circumstances change, and this also means that the way of working needs to change and adapt. We are working with teams and companies of all sizes. So we have a lot of startups that use our platform, very practical for new teams to start at zero and then build the team up from there. But we also work with large departments inside corporations like GLS Logistics or Bayersdorf. But I think that should be the end of the commercial now. We get started with the main act, maybe. Let me hand over to Karina, who'll start the introduction part into AI. Karina.
Hi, I'm Karina. Let me say two words about me before starting the presentation. I'm CEO of Clue One, which is a consulting company that is based in Germany, in Hamburg, and near to Frankfurt. And we help companies to improve their marketing performance and to meet business goals. And I started to work with AI for real in 2022. That's when I conserved my first AI seminar for Haufe Academy, where I've been a trainer for about 5 years now. And in my seminars, everyone quickly realizes that AI is a big thing. But then we quickly get to the question, how can we actually implement it and work with it every day? And this is actually what the loop closes back to teamdecoder. Together with Kai, I've recently developed a solution how to implement AI for real for teams in their everyday life, in their every work life. And I'm happy to talk about this today. And now let me introduce you to another person. This is Sophia that you see on the picture now. She's a robot who received Saudi Arabian citizenship. And she's the first robot to be given legal personhood anywhere in the world. And guess what? That was already in 2017. So that was 7 years ago. And when you realize that, the question arises why it took AI actually so long to really take off. Yeah, and when you look at this graphic, it shows that AI has kind of stuck for many years, and then 23 was actually the year when the world discovered generative AI, or short Gen AI, and that was the time when ChatGPT suddenly was available for everyone. You could download it on your mobile phone, for example. But it was still kind of a discovery year. And even though ChatGPT was already there since 2022, people still felt like early adopters when they started to use it in 2023. And then you see the rocket on the right side. In 24 is what you can call the year in which organizations really began to use it and to derive business value from using AI. So, as a matter of fact, AI is now a top priority that is being addressed across the board, and I discussed this a lot in my seminars. And when you look at recent research data, it shows that organizations are using AI in more business functions than in the years before. So there's a real progress going on. And the biggest value That's a nice information, because we always wonder where does it create value for real. It's actually marketing and sales departments, which is kind of logic, I guess, because this is where you can perfectly use generative AI as well as predictions for marketing developments. And there are first use cases also. This is a German company called Merck. And Merck's marketing people are now 10 times faster in defining target groups, for example, and 4 times faster in addressing them. So this is only one example of what they call Merck MyGPT that has been rolled out throughout the whole company. And yeah, there's one important thing to mention when it comes to the usage of AI application. I think everybody of you has at least tried out ChatGPT. So when you use it, you will at some point get to the point that artificial intelligence is just as intelligent as the data that feeds it. No more and no less. And this video shows it, I think, quite brilliantly. Let me try to start it. It won't start. Never mind. I'll put it into the notes so you can look at it afterwards. But it really shows the effect of that if you don't tell the AI the things that are in there, they are not in there. So, nevertheless, I think we must keep doing it. And the motto is make, fail, learn, or die. That's what I really believe is happening. It's not the question of should we integrate AI into what we are doing, but really how can we integrate it? And that's what I keep telling the people in my seminar. Oops. And then they would, then they think very quickly, wow, AI is really huge. It's like the moon landing before, and they're actually right. And they would believe what the Google CEO said. AI is to become more important than fire or electricity. So this is actually the effect when you think about AI. That it's a very big thing, but then something happens. And this is when people get back to work. And at the coffee machine, it's still a huge thing for a week. It might be a huge thing for a month. But the real question is really, what happens when they get back to their desk? And the question then is, how can AI really help me in my day-to-day business? And this is where I hand over to Kai, who will talk about this.
Thank you very much. Oh, this makes me a bad conscience drinking my coffee here. So I want to show you all that I'm not only spending the week at the coffee machine, I even don't have one. That's why I go to Starbucks. So I have the control. Next up is we want to talk about now becoming a little more precise, taking Karina's experiences in her seminars and having developed our idea how AI can actually become a team member inside a team itself. So I've been working as a consultant myself for more than 15 years now in this area of work organization, and I've helped my clients with creating better relationships with their clients, or avoiding greenwashing was a big topic for a couple of years for me, or innovation seminars. But the main issue was never the subject on the table, but the question, who will take care of it after the workshop ends? You know all this. You do an offsite somewhere in an amazing castle in a park outside the city. You spend 3 days in developing the most amazing, innovative ideas about new products and services. And then Monday you come back to the office and no one's there to take care of all the ideas that you've generated. So they die one after the other, slow death. So the thing is, most teams already have so much more work on their table that they can actually manage in their regular time. And the pressing issues that knock at the door cannot be let in and always pushed back. So that's that was like a key epiphany moment in my career when this sentence popped up into my mind, which kind of became my mantra now. Our biggest problem is that we don't have time to solve our biggest problems. So work organization is definitely not our biggest problem, but if we don't solve this, we won't be able to solve any other issue at all. And that's why this is so important and at the heart of us. So coming back to the teams, even without pressure from the top or any larger scale change programs that companies launch, teams had a lot of work to do. So in a team, there's of course the daily business going on. Teams are always growing by integrating new people, or sometimes they're shrinking by having to let people go. They had to cope with all these home office rules that came up because people don't want to work in the office anymore, or the new leadership comes in and they have to get acquainted with a new boss. All these things are happening on a team level, and this is already far more than the team has actually time for to cope with. But then there's actually more. There's everything happening on the company level. The company might decide there's a new operating model. They might just kill some hierarchy levels in the company to be more agile, or they want to develop better products because they've realized that the competition is getting ahead, or they want to be more customer centric because some of their main clients have been leaving and they need to do something to keep clients happy over time, or there's mergers and acquisitions, or there's lots of task forces popping up on the right and left to manage all these new topics. So all these are things that are decided on an enterprise level that have a huge impact on the work of the team. And then, well, not to forget everything else that's happening in the world that's out of control of the company itself. So somehow sustainability is suddenly important for those who haven't heard that yet, or diversity is a topic, or AI is something that has developed outside the company, and the companies need to think how to integrate this. So these are all these pressing issues of our time that somehow need to trickle down onto the team level. So the state of teams currently is as follows. So the day-to-day operations, which is the white circle here, take already much more time than our capacity actually allows, which is the red circle, right? So the pressing topics like sustainability or AI or innovation or customer centricity, they have to stay outside of this picture, or they can only be very poorly executed. What we want is the exact other way around. So we want the day-to-day operations, still in white here, not to take up 100% of our capacity, and the red circle can then keep some space for these new topics. There are a few measures that we can take to get there. So there's definitely in all teams I've been working with over the past years, there's always work that we actually do not need to do anymore. There's always stuff that we can just leave away and nobody will notice. It's sad, but it's the truth. There are many things we can do differently to be more effective. So maybe there's 5 people taking care of a task that one person could just as easily do. So there's always optimization potential like this. There's always a way to outsource work, so to have someone else do it from another department or from outside the company even. And then there's, of course, nowadays the point, and this is what we want to focus on now, the idea of having AI do the things that we don't have the time to do. And this is the idea that we came up with, and the idea is to create hybrid teams in companies. And the AI that we want to introduce in those companies, we call Mareike, the German name with the AI in the middle, very suitable. And now I want to invite Karina to show you a little bit more about the capabilities of Mareike inside teams.
Yes, with pleasure. Thank you. So Mareike is actually she's a virtual employee that can become part of your team as some kind of magic fairy that does the work once you're gone home in the evening. So each of her competences and skills is coupled to an AI tool that has been selected by the team because they know that this helps to implement specific routine tasks. And for example, it can help you create job advertisements. It can help you generate brand or target group specific content and images in no time at all. The only thing you have to do is tell Mareike how to do it step by step. And then Mareike can bundle all competences and tasks that are either simplified, accelerated, or improved in quality by what she's doing by using AI. So there are different tools that are being used for this. Might be Midjourney for creating images, might be ChatGPT for the copywriting, or Copilot for sales forecast. And there are 1,000 more that you can use now, and you bundle all these competencies at Mareike to get your work done. And this doesn't mean that she's doing the jobs all the way down, but it can be that she's taking over a task in an overall value chain, for example. And you tell her before, okay, this is what you do, this is what we always do it, and then she can help you win a lot of time with this. And this is actually the process that you follow to implement her, to implement AI in what you do in your daily business. So the first thing is that you assess all the skills that are available within your team and sort the tasks into these categories to realize what are you working on every day and what can be, maybe that would be the next step, given to the AI. So first thing, model your team with all employees and assign them to corresponding competencies and tasks. The next step would then be identify AI use cases. So you take the list that you just made and you identify tasks you believe could be handled by Mareike. And again, you can assume that she's able to work with any AI tools in the world. And then you put the task over to Mareike and program the way she would do it. Therefore, you need to go to the third step in the process, which is write down exactly which steps are necessary to complete a task, because it might be a routine task, a thing that you're doing every week again and again, and you know it takes every week 2 hours to do this, and you won't reinvent the wheel, as we say in German, but you tell her exactly how to deliver it, how to deliver a good result, and what steps are necessary to complete the task you're doing every week and how to get to the desired goal. And if it's necessary, you can include other people with whom there are interfaces, with whom you're working on the task, for example. You have to detail this in and write it down, because this is the basis for the prompting you would do in the next step. Fourth step is build the AI product that you would use to deliver the task. So therefore you pick the task that you have been detailed, and you start to consider which tool could be used to complete it. Therefore you can work together with an AI expert, for example, look at it and think about what is really able to help you and to support this. And as I said, maybe it's not the entire task, but just part of it. And what you can do at that point as well is note how much time the task currently takes. So if it's 2 hours a week, write that down, so you can control later if you have really time savings thanks to Mareike, who will be the head of this task and deliver it week for week. And probably you will, when you implement it, have some iterations to make the product work really perfectly, just like you working on the task, and you'll I'm sure have more time for the other things that are waiting for you on your desk. There's one concrete example I want to give you. It's something like create job postings in seconds. So, that's a job that is very relevant for HR people. So you would write the job postings using the standard that you define in ChatGPT. For that, for example, you can create a GPT, a custom GPT. That's what you call the customized instructions that you can save in a proper chat. It's like an app that you can use on a daily basis. And you would use this for creating job advertisements that correspond exactly to the content requirements and the tonality of your company, for example, but also to the tonality of the profile that you're looking for. You can put all that knowledge and rules that you want the text to be written like. You can put that into the GPT and then use it. And it will help you to write the text faster and use uniform tonality, a scalable structure, and suitable visuals at the same time. So this is really a turbo machine to get things done properly and just as you want it in less time. And Kai will show you now how you can use teamdecoder to guide you through that process, to get you into this, because defining roles in your team and being aware of what is everybody doing and how much time does it take actually is really the essence of implementing AI, because it's the first thing you have to do.
Thank you, Karina. What I love about your approach is that it's so simple. I mean, when the exact same effect that you were talking about that people have at the coffee machine is happening here, that everybody thinks about AI being this super complicated thing that I need to, I don't know, hire 20 people for and to build this complex process and need to buy licenses for tools and stuff. But on the other hand, it can be this very simple tool that simplifies lives for everyone in every team. And I think that's what you told me about your experience in the seminars, right? What the people are always asking for. These little things, what can I do now? What can I do tomorrow? What can I do this afternoon?
Exactly. And this is really the question, like, okay, I know all that and I can read and watch many things about GPTs, custom GPTs, how to do that, etc. But the real question is really, what are the tasks that you can give to AI? And this is where it stacks. Yeah. That's my experience, at least when I talk to the people in my seminar.
Yeah, so that's exactly why we try to take your learnings and build this into a set of features and a process inside teamdecoder, which I just want to quickly show. This is not another ad block, just to show you how simple this thing can work. So how this works is, first thing is that we introduced tags in teamdecoder that actually allows you to build hybrid teams. So in this case, you can see Mareike has been added as a team member with the tag AI, just along other people like Lucas, who's been tagged human, just not to mix up who's what. Like, I don't know, maybe you one day meet Mareike at the coffee machine, you're like, you wouldn't recognize her if she didn't have that tag. The next thing is we have a role section. And what we do is in this role section, we create so-called support buckets that AI can manage. Here, for example, we have picked out 3 areas like HR, tech, and marketing, which are, I think, Karina, in your studies, 3 of the most use cases that have the most impact on actually saving work time through AI. So you create these buckets inside the role section. And then there's a mode that we call compare mode, where you can actually put roles that are owned by people next to the new support bucket roles that we created for the AIs. And now you can shift the tasks over. Like you ask the team what they think an AI can help with, and then you can just drag and drop tasks from people to AIs to create profiles and work profiles for AI. And there's a workload planning feature behind that. It can actually calculate the savings that you have in time. And we're also currently working, but it's not live yet, on our own AI that will help teams to identify these tasks that AI can actually help them with automatically.